Hi, it's Renee. Now, this is day 2, which is the emotions and the nitty gritty of your divorce. Well, the divorce is a piece of paper that happens in a year and a day from separation here in Australia. But sometimes it's the separation, the emotions that come up then, that are a lot harder for people to deal with. But here's probably what's been going on for you, because often there is, if they say there's 5 stages, maybe there's 7 or 8 of grief of a relationship ending. Now, first of all, what most of us are in at the start is denial while you're in the marriage, that things aren't great. And you're denying yourself happiness, fulfilling lives. Maybe you're sitting there waiting for somebody else to change when the person who really needs to change is you, because that's all we have control over is ourselves. Denial that something's wrong. Denial has been wrong for a long time. Then we can move through to bargaining, which is where you may test the waters to try and draw that person back to you. It can sometimes feel a bit needy for the other person. You're bargaining, maybe you're bargaining using the kids, the work, whatever it is, money, that sort of thing. Bargaining, saying, well, I'll let everybody know how bad you are, that sort of stuff as a person. That's a form of bargaining, which is all part of the grief process. And we do know that hurting people hurt people. So maybe you found yourself saying things that you aren't that proud of. I'm going to put my hand up and say that I did that too all those years ago. I was in denial as well. And I probably realized that my marriage wasn't going to last when I knew I had to have knee surgery. And that intuitive moment, I knew my marriage would not survive this. But I didn't do anything about it, did I? Well, actually, what I did didn't help my mental state, because I tried to make myself less so that he could be more. And that didn't work out well. Clearly, 7.5 years later, here I am. So they're those stages. There is also anger, where we're really angry, expressing that at people, but again, it's still a held on to emotion. We can have sadness, and that's all okay as well. All these emotions and stages are all okay and normal. The final stage we can get to is acceptance, and that's when you realize, yes, inside it's over. And I think it took my stepmom to say something like that to me, that I needed to accept it when I was in the McLaren Vale with her, having a bit of a pity party or a piss up party, because I was drinking a lot of wine that weekend. Now, that's not something I'm saying you have to go and do. That was just my stages. And well, my parents happen to live in a beautiful wine region in Australia. But that's when I sat there and went, yeah, I do have to accept this, because otherwise I'm going to be held back and nothing will change. Only I'm going to feel worse. Now, there will be psychologists out there or other stages of the grief that they can say that there's shock at the start, and that's an okay emotion to feel as well, because some people are in shock when they initially hear that it's over and they need to separate. The best cycle through this is to get to the end where you are accepting, but where you're also getting the lessons and the learnings, because there is something to learn from this. Now, as I mentioned before in the other video, the other emotions that are really important to release are the anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame, and blame. Now, you may not be able to do this on your own. It's what I do as a coach with someone and as a therapist, and help them really release all that stuff. Because hurting people do hurt people. Angry people hurt other people, and sad people hurt themselves. So it is really important to get rid of these emotions and deal with them. Now, it's not to say that when you deal with them going through this phase that you're not going to experience them again, but you need to get rid of the charge. And you need to get the lessons. Now, you can get the lessons consciously by sitting there and reflecting over the timeline of the relationship. But it is much better and therapeutically happens when you're dealing with it in the unconscious mind, because that's where information is really stored. If you need to know more about that, I'll probably do another video about conscious mind and unconscious mind later on. I just wanted to keep these videos short, sharp, and to the point so you can get on with the exercises. So do the exercises. Reach out to another professional or myself, whoever it is. You do need to have someone to guide you through this who knows what they're doing. This is why you need to find an expert or a specialist in this field, because sometimes our friends and family, although they may very well be well-meaning, may not necessarily be the experts in what we need to hear and do. And I say that with love, but most people I speak to, or friends of someone who's been through a divorce, they say, I have no idea what to say to this person. And sometimes they can actually say the wrong thing. Now, I do go into that in more detail in another video down the track. So I'm sending you big heartfelt hugs right now, wherever you're going through. And it really is important to do this inner work to get the support that you need to be able to process the situation. Again, whether it's fast or at your own pace, it doesn't matter. You've got